Hey guys, what's going on? Happy New Year's and welcome to 2026. It's the time of year where, everyone's making their New Year's goals. Everyone wants to accomplish something magical just to abandon it in, a couple days or so. But not you and not me. We're in this together. See, 2025 was one of the worst years that I think I've had so far. I'll save you the details, but I want to follow up one of the worst years I think I've had with one of the best. So this year I'm starting a series with a focus on fitness and finance. I think I'm going to call it Lean and Green. This will be episode 0 of the first series instead of 1, just because I don't have any progress for this episode, and that's what I want this to be, is a progress series. It's going to be more of a starting point to explain kind of what this series is going to be about and also give a little background about myself. So this will be a weekly progress series that works towards 2 goals. Starting with the finance side, the goal for this is going to be I want to have 100 grand saved, ideally in a timeline of no more than 5 years. I'm currently not employed, so a little ambitious. I'm 28, and even though I'm invested in other asset classes like real estate, I feel like I've missed out on some of my best years that could have been in the stock market, and I kind of want to make up for that. And for the fitness side, the goal is going to be to reach somewhere around 10 to 12% body fat, where I can see some kind of viewable abs. I've never been anywhere near this before. In the past, I've either been skinny fat or just straight up fat. I've built up a decent amount of size over the years, but have never revealed what's underneath, so that'll be goal number 2. I want to pursue both of these goals while sharing lessons I've learned from my past, as well as what I learn along the way to hopefully inspire and put out some progress towards some of the goals that I've been putting off. So that's a little introduction to the Lean and Green series. Lastly, I just wanted to give a little background about myself, just to kind of paint the picture on where I'm at. So let's start from when I was just a wee lad at 18. At this point, I knew very little about personal finance or fitness. Honestly, the main focus in my life was bartending at a local restaurant and getting hammered and partying with my friends about as much as humanly possible. I continued this party to college, proceeded to skip all my classes and party some more in a frat that I had joined for a couple of semesters. During this time, I noticed my body change for the worse. I decided to start going to the gym, which was one of the best decisions I have made in my entire life. I was immediately hooked. There was this trial and error period where I just wanted to do everything you can possibly do in the gym. Some stuff was good, most of it was nonsense, but a lot of it worked just because of how fresh I was in the gym, and that's just kind of how it goes. I was a bit fed up with the party scene at this time. I decided to do something a little drastic. I knew I wanted a big change, so I dropped out of school and I showed up on my parents' doorstep. They were pretty reasonably pissed when I told them I wanted to enlist and try to become a Navy SEAL. I don't think they believed a word I said at the time, but fast forward a year of some of the hardest training I think I've ever done. I secured a SEAL contract and was shipped out a few months later. When I finally ended up in BUD/S, I ended up dropping, as most people do, after getting repeatedly destroyed under some boats evolutions. I was really young for my class. I was there for a lot of the wrong reasons. After this, I was given the choice to either be a deck seaman or go into IT, and since I didn't want to paint ships for 4 years, I chose IT. I picked up orders in Hawaii and was pretty ecstatic about it until I figured out I would be meeting my destroyer on deployment, which would then be followed up with about 2 weeks back in Hawaii and then another deployment. This deployment was also right when the big bad virus took off, and being in the middle of the ocean with no contact, I swear was like the setup to a real-life zombie apocalypse horror movie. We legit thought the world was ending. I will never forget how stupid we were at the same time, standing 6 feet away from each other with rags on our faces because we didn't have masks, even though we were in the middle of the ocean without contact. So I really only spent about a couple weeks in Hawaii, and then we transitioned into a yard period where we moved to San Diego. This was around the time I started to get really into personal finance and started dabbling in stocks and crypto. A buddy and I even started a mining business at this time, and at our peak, we were bringing in about 8 to 10 grand a month mining. which was insane to me. Around this time is also when a partner and I bought a house. This was one of the scariest decisions I've ever made. I ran the numbers on turning that home into a rental from day one. We toured several homes until I knew the numbers would work. Different neighborhoods, different areas all around San Diego. We ended up house hacking the place when we found it until we both eventually moved out, got out of the Navy, and turned it into a full-blown rental. Now I'm back with my folks again. I did some contract work until ultimately deciding to go back to school for data science, and that is about where we're at today. I feel like I've been a little stagnant for a couple of years, so 2026 is about improving and showing that progress here on this series. I really can't describe how excited I am to finally do something like this. I've really wanted to make content for a long time, specifically on YouTube. I've just always found an excuse not to do it. So I'm excited for this year. I hope you're excited for this year. Here's to a little bit more improvement by the week. It would mean the world to me if you guys subscribe, like and comment on the video, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one. See you later.